everyone, welcome to my channel. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and share. So I'm coming back with another sad story about a girl named Iyana Sawyer. She was 16 years old from Jacksonville, Florida. She went missing in December of 2018. She left school at midday and never returned back. Now, she was 5 months pregnant, I think, and she never told her family who she was pregnant by, and her family did not press the issue in the beginning, but they started to press the issue, and the mom started thinking that she was messing with her uncle. And her uncle was 38 years old. He was married and he had a child. And come to find out, she was messing with her uncle, and she was pregnant by her uncle. Her uncle was also having relations with Ayana's sister as well. So her sister knew about Ayana messing around with him, and the Ayana knew that he was messing with the sister. Ayana was in love with him. She would write love letters to him and all kind of stuff. So one day he picks her up from school, and he picks her up from school. He leaves work, pick her up from school, and she never returned back to school. She never went back home. He went back to work, and I'll show all this in a clip of the day that it happened and him leaving work at that time that he was actually picking her up from school, then him returning back to work and all of that. So, he picked her up, and y'all already know what happened. So, anywho, he confessed when he went to jail. He confessed to another inmate, which was his friend, I'm sorry, and he had already confessed to his brother what he had did. I'm going to play the clip of what the inmates say and everything. I'm going to play the mom talking in the courtroom, and I'm going to play the verdict that he got. So, he did confess that he did it. He said that he tried to choke her and choke her out, but she would not, die. So he ended up shooting her in the back of the head and took her body and threw it in a landfill. They have never found her body to this day. And yeah, that's pretty much the story. And it's so sad. He was sleeping with both his nieces. But Ayana was in love with him, and he actually told her when he picked her up from school that day that they were going to go and elope and run away. So when he picked her up, she was thinking they were going to, go away, go be together forever, but that was her last moments. He unalived her because he wanted to save his marriage. He did, plus she was a minor. Everything would come out. He would go do time. It's just sick. So, I'm going to play some of the clips from the courtroom and stuff like that, and his verdict and the confession from his inmate friend and all of that stuff so you all can look at it, okay? And just drop your comments in the comment section and let me know what you think. All right, bye-bye. Walk through the parking lot. Around 11:17 a.m., he gets in his van and leaves. Here's what the general manager, Gary Lindros, said about this. He's leaving the property in his vehicle. Or his vehicle's leaving. We know, sir, at 11:17 a.m. that he signed out on his timesheet. Yes, yes. I've seen the time card. No, he did not punch out as he's supposed to. You're certain that's the defendant leaving at 11:17 a.m. Yes, sir. Quillis is gone for about an hour and 13 minutes. He pulls back into work and goes out of camera's sight and into an area that's not employee parking. About 3.5 minutes go by, and it's about 12:30 now. He pulls in, then walks up to the office holding what looks like red tape. Then he heads towards the parking lot as a tow truck pulls in. Quillis walks alongside it in the employee parking lot. He's headed towards a pile of scrap tires. Then at 6:06 p.m., he's leaving in his van. My brother? Your brother? How would someone in New York know all these things? Me and my brother talk a lot. Yeah. Through that's right, bridge. Yeah. How would he know so many details? And honey, he's in another state. Yeah. He's describing your workplace. He's like laying it out. I've done a video. You do chat with him. Why would he do that though? Video chat's not going to cover all that. You know that. No. Video chat. I don't want video chat. He knows my work base because I see. Besides that, he is so detailed. I don't know what he told you. He told us. He told us the truth. No. He told us you tried choking her. No. Listen to me. Look at me, hon. It's a very personal thing. Yeah, to choke someone. And he said that it was making you sick. No. And it was making you sick looking at her face, probably listening to her. She was probably begging you, gurgling, panicked. I'm so sorry, guys. And he said that you got really upset, and then you ended up shooting her. No. I don't know why your brother would say all that. Well, this case everywhere. You'd agree with me on that, right? I've been advised by my lawyer not to read it. All right. Now, we're not talking about reading stuff. There's podcasts, also not to listen. TV shows, also not to watch. Articles, don't read. And so you've made the decision. Now, you're a lawyer yourself too, right? And you made the decision. I'm not going to look at any of this stuff. Right? So, can you tell me why the brother that has your back would make a phone call and tell us in such great detail how she must have been suffering? Everything he's told us is lining up. Your job's cooperating. They're pulling all the video. Yeah, they've got the cadaver dog back there in the back where the old cars are. Okay. We tracked down the dumpster. Who picked it up? Confirmed that it was picked up on the same day. Just like he told them. What? And I got told who? My brother? Your brother?
What he did with her once he shot her.
He said just once he shot her, he threw her body in the dump.
Praying, bro? Huh? You been praying? I haven't stopped praying. I've been praying this whole time. I stand for it. Amen. Yeah. You have to forgive me? Oh, yeah. Definitely. I actually forgive us.
In court.
I began to cry. My cries turned into screams of terror as I lay there in disbelief. February 12, 2019 was the day my world forever changed. This was the day I found out that my Yanni and little Hazel were gone forever. Before I could even make it home and tell my children, I received a call that it was already aired by the local news stations. I rushed home and immediately gathered my children because I wanted to be the one to tell them. I had to find a way to let them know that their sister and niece was gone. I would never forget the look on their faces when I told them. It was so hurtful because there wasn't anything I could do to help ease their pain as they all broke down. The next few months were so hard trying to keep my kids moving forward because Ayana was always a major part of their lives. She often turned her laptop into a projector and turned the room into a classroom. She was their biggest supporter and always pushed them to do their very best. After the situation, my kids began to struggle in school. Often I would see the news station at her bus stop speaking to anyone who would talk. I would have to pick them up from school early frequently. Other days they couldn't find the strength to even get out of bed. Everything they worked so hard to accomplish began to slip away. Although I was trying to further my own education, I took a break from college only to never return. Work was another struggle for me. Being in the medical field is my responsibility to help others, but there was nothing I could do to help myself. I would often go into empty offices or go sit in my car just to cry. I isolated myself from my friends and my family and went into a deep state of depression. We would often go on random family outings. She loved the water, so we would go to Mayport various piers and a river walk. Sometimes we would just take random car rides. Ayana was always so happy-go-lucky and would have all of us cracking up laughing. There was an awkward silence the first car ride we took without her. Our smiles were replaced with crooked smiles, and our laughter was replaced with silence. Holidays are so hard. The first Christmas without her was the hardest. There were so many unopened gifts under the tree with her name on them. We tried to keep our family traditions of going to look at Christmas lights on Gerber Road because this was one of our favorite things to do. I will never forget our last Halloween. We went to pick out costumes and took my...
Order versus Jonathan Quelez in 19 CF 7518, Division CRI, verdict as to sentence in count 1. We, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Jonathan Quelez, in this case. A, aggravating factors. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt as to defendant Jonathan Quelez in this case. 1, Jonathan Quelez was previously convicted of a capital felony or a felony involving the use or threat of violence to another person. Answer, no. 2, the first-degree murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest. Answer, yes. Number 3, the first-degree murder was especially heinous, atrocious, or cruel. Answer, no. 4, first-degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. Answer, yes. 5, IS was particularly vulnerable because Jonathan Quelez stood in a position of familial or custodial authority over IS. Answer, yes. We, the jury, have unanimously found that the state has proved one or more aggravating factors. Each of us has considered whether one or more mitigating circumstances exist. Each of us has weighed whether the proven aggravating factors are sufficient and whether the proven aggravating factors outweigh any proven mitigating circumstances. We have further considered whether Jonathan Quelez should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. We, the jury, find Jonathan Quelez should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, signed and dated by the foreperson. As to count 2, we, the jury, find as follows as to the defendant, Jonathan Quelez, in this case. We, the jury, unanimously find that the state has proven the following aggravating factors beyond a reasonable doubt as to the defendant, Jonathan Quelez, in this case. 1, Jonathan Quelez was previously convicted of a capital felony or felony involving the use or threat of violence to another person. Answer, no. Number 2, the first-degree murder was committed for the purpose of avoiding or preventing a lawful arrest. Answer, yes. Number 3, the first-degree murder was committed in a cold, calculated, and premeditated manner without any pretense of moral or legal justification. Answer, yes. The unborn child of IS was a person less than 12 years of age. Answer, yes. Number 5, the unborn child of IS was particularly vulnerable because Jonathan Quelez stood in a position of familial or custodial authority over the unborn child of IS. Answer, no. We, the jury, have unanimously found the state proved one or more aggravating factors. Each of us has considered whether one or more mitigating circumstances exist. Each of us has weighed whether the proven aggravating factors are sufficient and whether the proven aggravating factors outweigh any proven mitigating circumstances. We have further considered whether Jonathan Quelez should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole or death. We, the jury, find Jonathan Quelez should be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole, signed and dated by the foreperson. Mr. Quelez, you may have a seat with your attorney. Does any side want the jury polled? Defense? Members of the jury, I have some final instructions for you. I wish to thank you for your time and consideration of this case. I also wish to advise you of some very special privileges enjoyed by jurors. No juror can ever be required to talk about the discussions that occurred in the jury room except by court order. For many centuries, our society has relied upon juries for consideration of difficult cases. We have recognized for hundreds of years that a jury's deliberations, discussions, and votes should remain their private affair as long as they wish it. Therefore, the law gives you a unique privilege not to speak about the jury's work. Although you are at liberty to speak with anyone about your deliberations, you are also at liberty to refuse to speak to anyone. A request to discuss either your verdict or your deliberations may come from those who are simply curious, or from those who might seek to find fault with you, from the media, from the attorneys, or elsewhere. It will be up to you to decide whether to preserve your privacy as a juror. On a personal note, I want to thank you for the past 2.5 weeks.